and we're going to go right into it with why. Let's talk about why people prefer to watch videos. Katherine, I'm going to kick it off with you since you started your own business and you've seen this rise. What's your opinion of why this happens?
Yeah, so leadership teams that you're reaching out to every single day get a million emails, a million LinkedIn DMs. So when your face shows up and you're smiling and waving at someone and they can tell it's one-to-one, they are definitely going to at least watch your video. I'm also a big analogy person. It's like, if you really wanted to date someone and you kept texting them to go out to dinner and they weren't responding, would you keep texting them to go out to dinner, or would you buy them flowers or show up at their doorstep or like do something a little bit more romantic? So that's why I really like video prospecting. It's just like a level up in your game.
Will, what are your thoughts on why people prefer this method over any other method, especially the written method?
Yeah. Well, Katherine kind of nailed it. It breaks up the monotony of the inbox. People that we're reaching out to get a ton of emails. So sending a video is something different. I see all these testimonies on LinkedIn of people like say decision makers are like, I've received like 2 videos this entire year. So super easy way to stand out because not that many people can do it. Even fewer people can do it well, which is hopefully what we're going to teach you today. The other side of things is it's super memorable because it does activate you on kind of pretty much every level, right? So when you watch a video, you're seeing the person, you're hearing them, you're watching them, and there's just more of a way to emotionally, emphatically connect with the prospects. I'll give you an example of this. When I was at an event last week, actually, I post a ton of video content on LinkedIn. I'm going to use that as an analogy. People see you, you become more familiar, but they also remember the details from those videos a lot more than just something that they read. So you're going to stay in their mind clearer and ideally get a better response from them as well.
Yeah, video, I think, has a strong reply rate because of the connection to the message that it provides. Let's look at some of these results, and then we'll talk about that connection a little more. Not surprising, a lot of BDRs in the room. BDRs using video for prospecting all the time. Katherine will later talk more about how to go further down the cycle with video. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a good conversation you want to be a part of because we'd love your feedback. Speak to an issue that they're facing. So let's talk about the formula that you guys use when you're sending these videos. Will, you said you had a cold video. Do you want to share that with everybody and maybe give some context?
We'll do a little context here. I could just say it to y'all, but I'll show you what the prospect sees, right? So a framework that I like to use is really simple. So the frameworks help because it means that you can just kind of templatize it and you can bang out a bunch that are very similar. And the framework I use is quick intro, 5 seconds, 10-second observation of something about them, personalizing it to them, 10-second problem, 10-second solution, 5-second ask. So that's like a 40-second video. This is how that might look. I'm prospecting myself in this video. It's a bit of a cheat, but this is how that might sound.
Hey, Will, huge congratulations to you and the rest of the team on the launch of Celoton. Now, I was just looking on LinkedIn and I spotted that Celoton is headquartered in California, whilst yourself and a few of your colleagues are based in Canada. We hear from a ton of small international business CFOs that it can be a real challenge making sure those currencies, Canadian dollar and US dollars, line up when it comes to payday. They found that it saves them a huge recurring headache by outsourcing their payroll to an external provider. Is this something that you've got solved yet at Celoton? Let me know by responding to the email that I sent you and we can see if it makes sense to chat. See you later.
All right, now that you showed the video, we got some people in the chat. They want to hear that formula one more time. So show the tell the formula one more time.
Let's go again. I want a 5-second intro. What's up? It's Will. We got energy. We got a little bit of a hook there. You saw I was sharing my screen as well, which is often a good way to get a click through the thumbnail in the email. We talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But then I'm going to go into a thing that I've noticed about them. Very similar to what I do with my cold emails as well. I noticed this. I saw this. I observed on your page this happened, or your company's hiring 2,700 people right now, whatever it is. Then problem statement, the thing that ideally my product solves. In this case, I was selling I think I was pretending to sell like a financial software or something. And then how I might have helped that in the past, how someone else has solved that. And then I go to the call to action, which typically in a video, I'm not going to ask for a meeting. I've stopped asking for meetings a lot of my outreach. Instead, I'm going to be like, just let me know this is interesting. That starts a conversation. And once that conversation started, it's really easy to then go for the meeting.
Great stuff right there. Shout out to you for the vid. Let's rate Will's vid. One 1 being a terrible vid that no one should ever send, and 5 being an incredible vid that everybody should make one just like it because you'll get great results. Look at all the 5s and the 10s. There's
under the bus.
Yeah, great. Oh, look, you got a 4, Naomi. She's
The 11's up in here.
She's
Give me
tough.
14. Savage.
Good stuff. Savage stuff, man. You know I'm going to put you on the
Good.
spot.
I
You
can
got a lot of
take it,
6s
all
and
right.
9s. Katherine, you also agree that you should get really fast to an issue, something that they focus on. And you even said straight to them. Don't talk about you at all. But it's only a 30-second video. So how do sellers get there quickly? What's the flow that you use? Will gave his formula.
Yeah, so very similar, but I think where a lot of people hiccup is they want to really quickly be like, hi, I'm Katherine. I work for Katch Solutions. This is what we do. This is what we offer. And then now I'm going to talk about you. And your prospect's already turned off at that point.
Yeah.
So my favorite intro ever is, hey, first name, not sure how often you get videos like this, because they can see my name on the screen. They can go to my website if they want to. I don't need to waste 3.5 seconds on it, but saying, hey, I'm not sure how often you get videos like this, it's already you centric. Like I'm asking you a question, how often you get outreach like this. And oftentimes I feel like based on responses I get, people are already typing to reply to me because typically the response that I get is, hey, Katherine, I never get videos like this. I wish I did. You know, that being said, let's book a meeting, blah, blah, blah. So I just love that opener. Like I'm never going to stop using it because it's just so buyer or prospect centric without me saying this is what I do at all.
I'm with you on the buzzwords, by the way, before we get too off topic. I did a little pitch off in one of my videos recently, and like, why is it that sellers always feel the need to go like, I'm going to save you time and money and efficiency? Tell me a software or product that doesn't promise to make you more efficient. Imagine that pitch. Yeah, it makes you slower. Like no one would buy that. So like, just if it doesn't mean anything or everyone says it, just cut it. Get to the problem. Like, hey, you know when this happens, we solve that basically. But you don't even have to talk about your product that much. You can just talk about the problem, and you're going to be in a much better spot.
Yeah, I used to fall into that a lot when I first was making videos because I wanted to sound smart. So I have finally like humbled myself to get away from trying to sound smart and put all these acronyms and stuff and jargon into videos. And now I just focus on like what actually would change in their day-to-day if they had what I had.
You can talk and you can write on a 3rd grade level, and it is okay. You do not have to talk like a C-level executive to get the attention of a C-level executive. That's
I reckon trying to sound smart is probably the biggest downfall of the most reps as well when they get into sales. Like they all they think they have to sound like a business person who's like a genius. And I did it too, right? And then you realize actually we're not really there to be the white lab coat anyway.
Let's talk a little bit about incorporating this into our overall flow, because we've got a few minutes left here and I want to make sure we get this piece out of the way. So we have this big contact strategy. What's a great way to seamlessly incorporate these things into your process? Katherine, how do you train people to do this?
I think people get really caught up on this, like, where should I put my video in my cadence and how? And it's a really hard question because it's nuanced. Like it really depends who you're selling to and how often you're reaching out to them. I think a general rule of thumb is to have video as maybe your 2nd or 3rd touch point, especially if you're email prospecting. You're going to want to send a blank email with your kind of regular outreach type of thing in it, because you want to make sure that your video you want to make sure you're not going to spam when you do send your video. So you want your video to be, oh my gosh, you want your video to be a reply thread. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm not going to start over though. You want your video to be a reply thread to make sure that you don't go into the spam folder. So at least have it as touch point 2. For me, I do most of my selling on LinkedIn, so I'm putting it as touch point 1. But it's so different for everyone. It just really depends what you're selling and who you're reaching out to. And then another recommendation would be like, kind of back to the other question too, like if you are feeling really nervous about the efficiency standpoint, just send video to people that you like really want the meeting with until you're good at it and get to that efficient point. So the answer is it's different for everyone. Sorry.
No, that's a good answer. It is different for everyone. Everyone adopts processes and strategies a little bit differently. And while Will's talking about his strategy for incorporation, I'll launch this poll real quick. What's your biggest challenge? That's what we want to know now. Will, talk about implementing this into your process smoothly and easily with less stress and hassle.
I'll try to make it short because I see we've got a lot of questions. I think we're gonna have to do a speed fire round to get to half of them.
I'm fine with it. Let's go.
But to be honest, yeah, I would typically just I do cold call, email, LinkedIn, cold call, and then I send a video. So it's like step 6 or 7, and I do exactly what Katherine says. If it's via email, I'm going to send it in reply to an existing thread. Links, including links in your signatures, by the way, and emails these days are really tough. You want to make sure you get good deliverability. So I would try and make sure that first email, get rid of the links in your calendar, in your thing. Stop selling Calendly links to people. Just, I don't want to call it Calendly actually. Stop sending links in your first email. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. But also like think about places that other than prospecting, you can use video as well. We didn't really get to this. It's a whole other topic, but like I'm going to send videos further down the sales cycle as well for micro demos, recaps, confirming the time and agenda for a meeting. I love sending one with a proposal as well. So the 30% of AEs in the room that put the hand up earlier, think about those things as well. The proposal one is actually a really good one as well.